This is the Sony 35mm f1.8 OSS lens for the Sony APS-C crop sensor cameras. This is one of my favorite APS-C lenses because the image which comes from this lens is absolutely amazing. My go-to portrait lens for my A6400 camera. I've had this lens for just over 2 years now and I used it a lot. I tell you the cons and the pros about this lens. I'm Peter and this is my room, and in this video I will show you my experience with this lens. Body and features. This lens is a tiny little bad boy. This lens material is metal, but it's so light. The focus ring is not bad, but I think in my Sigma 16mm it's so much better. This is how it looks when you remove this lens cap. You can see the beautiful little glass of it. This is how it looks from the bottom side. With my A6400 camera, it's so tiny. If you want to go somewhere, you will like the compact factor. Seriously, you can put it into your pocket. Bokeh and aperture. We're at this part that everybody wants to hear about. The bokeh. This f1.8 is so good. It makes your image creamy and you can separate the subject from the background. I think if you once try this lens after using the kit lens, you will like this lens a lot. I love how much more bokeh this lens has over the kit lens. The autofocus is also good, it doesn't lose the target with my A6400. The 35mm focal length. It's 35mm, which is around 50mm in full frame. I think it's the best focal length if you want to learn photography. I learn a lot with this lens. It's not too wide and not too narrow. I think the 50mm focal length is the best balance between wideness and compression. It's a prime lens, so you can zoom. You have to move and zoom with your legs. Because of the compression and shallow depth of field, you can do very good detail shots and B-rolls too. The image looks very professional. The full frame 50mm look is most close to the human eye view. That means the image looks so realistic. That's why I use this lens for portrait shots. And for beauty shots too. It's a great choice. Sigma 30mm f1.4 vs Sony 35mm f1.8 OSS. I know there are some other lenses like the Sigma 30mm f1.4. I picked the Sony 35mm f1.8 over the Sigma because of the optical steady shot. For video it's a little bit better for me. I'm thinking about the Sigma because of the f1.4 aperture, but I think the 1.8 and 1.4 are not that different overall. But the Sigma also a very good choice. I think I will try it in the future. The optical steady shot. The OSS works great in this lens, and I think in 35mm focal length it's a great to have if you want stable footage handheld. Anyway, if you have Sony a6000, a6100, 300 or 400 crop sensor cameras which doesn't have optical stabilization built in, it's great to have an optical stabilized lens. Cons and pros. I try to say negatives about this lens, but I can't really say anything. It's perfect lens for me. It's a great focal length. I love using for portrait shots. It's a tiny lens, so it is good for traveling or making some shots in the street. The people will not watch you because of the camera size. The OSS works great. I love using this lens because of it. The f1.8 aperture is making good shallow depth of field. This lens is good in low light. Because of the great minimum close focusing distance, you can do pretty good detail shots. What is your thoughts about this lens? Leave the comment below. If you like this video, please smack the like button and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. And thank you for watching and see you guys in the next one. Peace!